Before we start this documentary, I only think it's fair if I stand in front of this clubhouse on this historic ground, but especially on this square where former groundsman Mike Barfoot would produce his wonders. Mike sadly passed away in December 2019, and everybody at the club and associated with Downend Cricket Club will greatly miss his presence. I would like to dedicate this documentary to you, boss. Rest in peace. The W.G. Grace Memorial Ground bears the name of arguably one of sport's greatest ever players. Downend Cricket Club is a member of the West of England Premier League and the Bristol and District Cricket Association. The club consists of 8 competitive junior and senior teams, running from our under-11s all the way to our first team, which is captained by Callum Gregory. I caught up with Callum to discuss how he has felt since being given the role.
Yeah, so obviously since taking the captaincy, it's been fairly difficult to see, getting to grips where the club's at, both on and off the field. At the club we've got great youth set up, some really talented young lads coming through. So basically, I think my main role here is to just try and include those young players and get them involved with the experienced heads that we've got in the squad at the moment. Obviously, being the captain of the club is a great honour. Following some great names that have played for the club, and hopefully we can compete against some real tough teams in the division going forward.
Our second 11 is captained by Ollie Ralph, who is also the head of youth development here at Downend Cricket Club. He has spoken to me about his role with the junior cricketers.
So that is my role here at Downend Cricket Club, as you said, Leighton. I'd first like to say that there's a lot of talent here as we look through the ranks at the club, including the All-Stars, which are the 5 to 8 year olds, which is the age group we start with. The Dynamos that have been introduced this year as well, which is under 9s. And then we also run a total of 7 teams here in the junior section, ranging from under 11s through to under 19s. All these lads and some girls play competitively in Bristol youth leagues, and some even play for the county and district at Gloucester Cricket Board, which is a great honour to have those players here at Downend. Obviously we're trying to increase those numbers. My role is to oversee all junior age groups, and of course, as you said, I have the pleasure of captaining the second 11. It's a great honour to be part of such a historic club, and many players will agree with me when I say it's one of the best grounds in the county circuit as well, with such its unique features. I really enjoy my role, and I really hope that the junior sides can showcase their talent to hopefully some decent crowds in the upcoming season, and you never know, we might end up with a little bit of silverware at the end of it if we perform like we have the ability to.
From the junior side of things and the development on the pitch, Ollie Ralph also touched on the job that Sean Drow and his committee have been doing here at Downend Cricket Club.
Running such a small but historic club, like I mentioned, it's not an easy task when you're competing with some of the big clubs in the league who have got big money that they can spend on players and resources. So he's done such a fantastic job in his couple of years in the role as well.
With the club situated in such a small village, it's become apparent over the years how difficult it is to maintain our status in the West of England Premier League. Chairman Sean Drow has been speaking to me about the challenges he has faced since taking the role here at Downend Cricket Club.
It's been quite interesting really, because prior to me taking on the chairman's role in November, I was vice chairman, so no surprises as such. I think the biggest surprise probably is the fact that I'm actually doing the role, which don't get me wrong, is a big honour. But I think with the community spirit we've got here, what we've tried to do since I took on the role, with the help and support of the locals, we're moving in the right direction. But a long way to go, but I'm pleased to be doing it.
I mean, could you just quickly give the viewers an insight of how difficult it is to run such a small club and competing in one of the highest leagues in the Southwest?
I think Ollie, the biggest problem we have is the fact that we have limited options in terms of income. Okay, so obviously we have a clubhouse, we have quite a big social membership. Predominantly our income is through what happens over the bar, and obviously members, social memberships and player memberships. But unlike some of the other clubs in the Whipple Prem 1 who have, whether it be wealthy benefactors or they have means of raising funds via external means because of where they're located within the locality, we don't have that. Okay, so we're very much reliant on external to what we do on the social side. We're very reliant on local businesses, local sponsorship. We've had some fabulous support from some of our neighbours in terms of donations. So we just got to capitalise on that, and hence the reason why, because of where we're located in Downend, we are in the middle of a village with busy roads around us, so we're limited to what we can do. But we just got to exploit that and capitalise on that and welcome everybody into the club, whether they're playing, whether it's social or the activities we arrange throughout the season.
I think you've touched on it really well, and you've hit the nail on the head with the support of the community and our neighbours, for instance, is as we look out here, we've got houses, and I could name 4 or 5 that have helped us in the last 5 months.
Exactly, and I think those kind people that we're staring at now, their houses are right across the way. Those people are integral to our club. Okay, they're all social members. They're all active in terms of the fundraising that we're trying to do. They're all active in supporting the plan that we've currently got, as you well know, with the changing rooms.
Before Sean Dryle goes any further with the redevelopment of our changing rooms, I have caught up with Wendy Kirby, who has been heavily involved in the club since attending the AGM in November.
One I've ever been to, and it was a little bit of an eye-opener to see how the cricket club is struggling at the moment, and I decided I wanted to help and support the club.
So you said you saw that the club was struggling. In what ways have you begun to help the club kind of rekindle the financial infrastructure here?
Oh, various ways. Fundraising, raising the profile on social media, which has been amazing, meeting up with local businesses, and that sort of thing, really.
Since Wendy and her team have been involved with Downend Cricket Club, we've seen a huge increase on the social media pages and a wonderful contribution from our local businesses, as she touched on. I will now head back to Sean Dryle, who will speak about the impact that the junior setup has and also the other members involved.
The other important thing is the junior members, and the fact that we have to bring in more and more junior members. Yeah. We've got a great all-stars community, which is the 5 to 8 year olds. We've then got the dynamos, which are the slightly older ones, and that's very, very important for the longevity of this club. And, we've got our first and second team players are obviously of an age where they can't play forever, so we're very much reliant on the youngsters coming through. After
praising the brilliant youngsters at this club, the social members and the playing members, we would now like to turn our attention to off the pitch. The changing rooms have started to be redeveloped from January 2020. I spoke respectively to Sean and Wendy about their roles within this.
Unless we had the support of that group of volunteers, not only donating funds but also donating their time and their expertise. Some are local tradesmen. Without that, we just couldn't have done it. It's a big investment, not only in time and money. And I think the problem we've had with the changing rooms is it's a very old building. It's not had a great deal of upkeep over the years. We found quite some fundamental construction issues which we're trying to address. But without the help and support of those local individuals, we just couldn't have done it. We're working on a fairly tight timescale here. Our first game is the 2nd of May, and God willing, that game will happen under the current climate. So we'll just have to see where things go on that. But we are working towards getting all that ready for the end of April, beginning of May.
I spoke to Sean Dryle about the redevelopment of the changing rooms, and I think we came across a few problems that we didn't think we'd face. How have you kind of overcome those, or if you're going to overcome them?
Well, I guess it's like any old building. You can't account for every eventuality. We're on a really tight budget, and we've relied heavily on local tradesmen with regards to materials, local tradesmen with regards to their time on the weekends, and also all of the members and some of the players. We have come across a few problems, but never say never. We keep each other buoyant and lifted, and we're just going to keep going. We've got 6 weeks, so it's a pretty tight deadline now. And I think they're going to look lovely. I think they're going to be appreciated, and I think it's going to help us for the future. We're really keen to progress with other avenues around women's cricket, which myself and lots of new members are interested in. So, it's all for a good reason, and we will get there in the end.
Have you got any ambitions as a chairman of anything with this club in the future?
I think the first thing is obviously long-term sustainability. As I said, we're not a wealthy club by any stretch of the imagination. We have to be self-sufficient. We need to be self-sufficient. We've got to a position now where we've managed to, and it's fair to say, clear a number of sort of legacy debts that we had. That is an ongoing process, but we do need to be self-sufficient. And I think if we can get the social side and our membership to a level where it becomes a lot more, it becomes a day-to-day place in terms of where people go, and the things we do around, as I said, our social membership, our lottery is very, very key to maintaining a steady income, and the more people that we can get to join us on the social side and also join the lottery will significantly help.
Being involved, I'm doing it just as much for myself as for the club. It does make me feel good, and I do feel appreciated, so that goes a long way. So yeah, it's a really good feel factor. I love the community Downend, born and bred, and it's just been really, really positive.
You've just heard from Sean and Wendy respectively about their roles here at the club and also the redevelopment of the changing rooms. One last word from Callum Gregory about the buzz in the changing room and how he will try and portray that on the pitch and to the members here.
Yeah, I think one of the best things at the club is just generally the atmosphere. The group of players, get on really well, and it's one of the best things about playing for the club. The buzz around the dressing room is first class, and that comes from the playing side of things and the members who support us and support the club. So hopefully we can rectify that support on the pitch and bring the crowds out and have some success in the future.
So you've heard from 2 captains and 2 members of the committee, one being the chairman and one being the head of volunteers here at Downend Cricket Club. I think it's very fair to say that the club is rebuilding and on the road to glory.